It's mine. Mine alone!
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Beacon. Today is going to be a video unlike anything I've ever done before on the channel. This is probably the most creatively fulfilling thing I've ever done here, and I've had the best time this morning trying to get all the evidence lined up to try to convince you as to what I think Pokemon Legends Arceus is going to be, and who the final boss or the main overarching boss of the game is going to be. By the thumbnail, I'm guessing you can probably already see it's going to be Cyrus. I have some evidence, but I want everyone to know this is not me trying to, pretend like I know exactly what's going to happen. This is me opening a dialogue, and with the release dates already being confirmed, I think my theory it's not just my theory, I've seen this presented across the internet, but I might have like my little added touches that I'm going to add myself. If you are new to the channel though, I want to welcome everyone to the Beacon. Like I said, I had a really good time this morning getting this together, and this is completely fulfilling, so thank you to anyone that is taking time out of their day to watch this video. And regardless of how well this does on the channel, I'm just happy to do this today and make this. So if this is premiering, thank you for being in the premiere, and please feel free to drop either a Surfesh emote like the Pogfesh if you have those, if you're a member. If you're not a member, just drop a blue heart for me right now. That'd be great. So if you guys saw, Pokemon Legends Arceus is releasing on January 28th, which is roughly 2 months after Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl are releasing. So I don't think that this is a coincidence at all. I think originally that Game Freak was going to have the story of Pokemon Legends Arceus be the post-game for the Gen 4 remakes. And I think originally they planned on making the Gen 4 remakes House Sword and Shield in the same art style. But I think maybe, I could be wrong about this, but I think maybe the backlash that Sword and Shield got from some of the fans for the art style made them want to just dedicate more time to making a single-player game and letting a different studio, like Ilka, make the Gen 4 remakes. But that's a whole other topic. Today, guys, I'm going to be convincing you why Cyrus will be the main villain of the Gen 4 remake. So, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for dropping a like. If you do, I really do appreciate it. So, like I said, the release date is going to be January 28th for Pokemon Legends Arceus, and then Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl is going to have a release date of November 19th. Now, a lot of people are saying these games are too close together. I think that Pokemon Legends Arceus is a prequel to Gen 4. Don't get me wrong, it is a prequel. But I also think it's going to be a sequel. And I'll kind of get more into that, and I'll kind of explain my case. So, if you guys remember from a while ago, Cyrus... The last time we saw Cyrus, the story is a little bit different in the anime versus in the video games. But Cyrus, the last time we saw him, he was basically lost into the distortion world, right? He's gone. No one really knows what happened to him. But in this scene right here, it almost seems like the distortion world is sort of like possessing him, or maybe giving him an idea of like where to go in the future. Because like even the Team Galactic grunt right there seemed like, don't go after him. He's lost, or maybe he's got a bigger idea of how to accomplish his goal. And there was a post that I saw recently that I thought was fantastic, and this guy goes into the backstory of Cyrus and like his overarching like plan and what he wants to accomplish. And I'm gonna quickly, guys, just go over that, and I did make this little video montage while I do that. So it says, what happened to Cyrus? We all know that Team Galactic's plan is pretty crazy, especially their emotionless leader Cyrus. Before we get into the theory, let's talk about the story of Team Galactic's leader Cyrus. Cyrus was a young boy. He always tried to impress his mother and father. No matter how hard he tried, he never lived up to their expectations, as well as his grandfather regretting to help him in a time of need. Leaving Cyrus with no emotion, when he grew up, his goal was to create a new world with no emotion. So obviously, like, it's not really a new thing with like your childhood or your past, like wanting you to change the future kind of thing. But I do like Cyrus as a character. And that leads us to Generation 4, where his plan is to use the Masters of Time and Space to make his goal come true. We first meet him in Diamond and Pearl in Mount Coronet, or Coronet, depending how you pronounce it, but doesn't introduce himself to the player until the player goes to Celestic Town at the entrance of the ruins. We later battle him at Team Galactic headquarters after defeating him. He announces that he will head to Mount Coronet along with giving the player a Master Ball. We later see him as Sky Pillar summoning Dialga or Palkia, depending on which game you're playing, obviously. However, the screen then goes to white, and we don't see Cyrus or Team Galactic at Sky Pillar, and we never see him again in Diamond and Pearl. He then returns in Pokemon Platinum, this time playing a much more bigger antagonistic role than he did in Diamond and Pearl. And we first meet him again in Lake Verity, saying he'll make the world his again one day. We see him in Eterna City looking at the Pokemon statue. The player then meets him again in Mount Coronet, talking about the world being ruined by human spirit. We meet him again in Celestic Town Cave with the player and champion Cynthia's grandmother. After defeating Cyrus in a battle, Cyrus leaves, and then we see him again giving a speech to Team Galactic in their headquarters in Veilstone City. In the speech, he tells them that they're on the verge of creating a brand new world with no incompleteness and strife. We battle Cyrus again in Team Galactic headquarters, and then he tells the player that his speech was a lie. He gives the player a Master Ball and says he's off to the peak of Mount Coronet at Spear Pillar. The player, champion Cynthia, and the Latria arrive to stop Cyrus, but he shows no reaction, saying that their powers are no match for Dialga and Palkia. However, a black hole then appears and Shadow Giratina comes out of it, saving Dialga and Palkia and dragging Cyrus to a distortion world. The player then captures Giratina and leaves the distortion world, with Cyrus still in it. The Team Galactic is then taken over by Sharon, but they're all then arrested by the police and Detective Looker. Cyrus is never mentioned again, so now the question is, what is Cyrus's status? We already know this, that in the Pokemon anime universe, Cyrus is killed by Dialga and Palkia, but what about the game universe? Is it possible that Cyrus died in the distortion world, or is still living? It is said when you first enter black holes, you enter a different universe. It is possible that this could have happened to Cyrus. There are, after all, two universes in Pokemon games, Mega Universe and the non-Mega Universe. It is possible that Cyrus was transported to the Mega Universe and living there now, however, that's just me and my crazy theory. Sun and Moon, however, does show us different worlds, such as the Ultra Beast world, so possibly Cyrus is living with Ultra Beasts, or who knows. That was a mouthful, guys, but I do think it's very important in the overall story. So you kind of have a better idea of like what Cyrus, who he is, and what he wants to accomplish. I don't think personally, I don't know if in the game universe versus in the TV universe that he knew that going in the distortion world could help him in his overall goal. But if you guys, I'm not sure if you guys did see this or not, but this is really interesting. So if you look, this is a screenshot, obviously, of Mount Coronet with the distortion world ring around the top of it, and then right to the right of it, this is an apparent like screenshot of gameplay of Pokemon Legends Arceus that was leaked out when the games were announced. And if you see above Mount Coronet, you see this a very similar distortion world ring, right? My theory is that when Arceus created everything, the distortion world was sort of like the second head to the coin. And I think that Arceus didn't realize, this is all my theory obviously, so don't quote me on this, but maybe Arceus didn't realize that creating the universe would also create the distortion world and creating life would also create Giratina, which is why he locked Giratina away. But obviously, and then this is something that I read that I think is beautiful. So this is them talking about like the Pokemon Company, the Platinum Director, talking about like the inspiration behind Mount Coronet. So and the distortion world. So it says the reflection of Mount Fuji on the lake is the antimatter of the world. It was challenging to put that concept into the game as the distortion world. So this is what Masuda said, and this is beautiful. It exists, but it actually doesn't exist. It doesn't exist, but it does. The mountain exists on the lake through human eyes, but it's only a reflection and does not exist. You see it only because you are looking at it with your eyes. So, if that is true, if it exists only, like, it exists, but it also does not exist, which makes a lot of sense. It's kind of like a different dimension that is not accessible, you know, in reality, but it's also there, you know, like, Giratina definitely does exist. So, I almost wonder if Giratina chose Cyrus to, because maybe Giratina's ultimate goal is kind of aligned with Cyrus. So maybe when Cyrus did enter the distortion world, I think it's possible that let him traverse time and space, because I don't think the distortion world kind of abides by the same rules, kind of like in Avengers in Endgame when they go in the quantum realm and they can go through any time and place they want to go to. I think the distortion world kind of acts like that. So if you see in Pokemon Legends Arceus, the trailer, you see in the background here where it shows the starters. By the way, if you want to let me know what starter you want to pick in Pokemon Legends Arceus, I would love to know. I'm gonna go Cyndaquil, and I'm probably not gonna evolve it because I'm not really the biggest. I like Quilava, but I'm not really a Typhlosion fan. I think Typhlosion is probably one of my least favorite starter evolutions. I wish it looked better, but I love Cyndaquil so much. But if you guys look in the background here, that is the logo on the flag, right? And it's quite possible with the breakout of it. We know that we have an Alola starter, we have a Johto starter, and we have a Unova starter in the game. And that kind of makes up the logo of like what your character is wearing on their sleeve. So you have Sinnoh, Alola, Johto, and Unova. So you see the top left is kind of like an well, the whole left side is kind of like an S. You see the A for Alola, the J for Johto, and you see a U in the bottom right for Unova, right? What if Cyrus discovered the ability to go back in time? It's hard to comprehend this, not really, but I mean, I might do a bad job of describing it. But Cyrus goes back in time after the events of Diamond and Pearl. So he goes back in time, which makes it a prequel, but also it's the same Cyrus with the same goals, which makes it a sequel. So Legends Arceus, coming out 2 months after Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, is a sequel to Diamond and Pearl. But maybe he realizes that he needs to go back to when Arceus maybe existed on the Sky Pillar, because we can see in the actual first part of the game, if you look at the top of like of Mount Coronet, you can see something up there, right? Whether that is Arceus, whether that is you know, the Sky Pillar in, you know, not in ruins. Maybe we'll see what caused the Sky Pillar to, you know, to go and complete ruins, and, you know, more about Arceus. I wonder. I read someone say, talking about like a chalkboard, and how Giratina exists on one side of the chalkboard, and the chalkboard is base reality. So Giratina is not accessible, but to I guess most of the time. But what if on the opposite side of that chalkboard is like a different world that Arceus lives in, sort of, if that makes any sense to you? I don't want to get too much into it, but like it's more of like Arceus is on one side, Giratina's on the other, and then in the middle is like where the Pokemon universe exists, kind of thing, right? So I wonder if that is going to be part of the game, if we'll get more into that. I'm very curious about it, because I feel like that's going to have a bigger impact. And why does the pillar look like this in this shot? But then also, if we look at the screenshot of like the gameplay, you see the distortion world above it. So maybe there's something that happens that causes the distortion world to come to life above it, and that destroys the Sky Pillar kind of thing. I don't necessarily know. Also, this was like a beautiful shot of like Mount Coronet when I saw it. I thought that was really good. This is some artwork I saw online, and I couldn't figure out who made the artwork, but it looked really good. So I just think, with all this evidence adding together, that Cyrus is going back to create Sinnoh from scratch and create his perfect world, kind of thing. And the character from the past is also the future protagonist, if that makes any sense to you. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, though. I know I've been rambling for a while. I've had a really good time putting all this together, guys. That was the bulk of what I wanted to talk about. But like, I just think with the games coming out November 19th and then Arceus releasing 2 months later, and they're both set in Sinnoh, there's got to be a connection. And what better connection could there be than Cyrus being? We never saw Cyrus die. It's just inferred that he died in Pokemon in Diamond and Pearl when he gets in the distortion world. But it's really funny though, because you can see him alive and well in Pokemon Generations. You can literally see him in the distortion world talking to Giratina, and this released a long time after Diamond and Pearl came out. So like, it's almost like they're telling us that Cyrus is alive and well. I wouldn't be surprised if Cyrus is the professor of the region. That would not surprise me in the slightest. Which is weird, because like, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy where Cyrus exists in the past, and how does that change the future timeline? I literally have no idea. What if Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl... No, that makes no sense. I was going to say, what if they take place after the event of Legends Arceus? But it would almost create like a branching new timeline, you know? I know the rules of time travel are different for, you know, every kind of like... they're never the same. They're always different for every kind of franchise or whatever, so... But yeah, I just do think there's got to be something here. I think we're going to see Giratina, we're going to see Cyrus as the professor, and the overall goal is to somehow get to Arceus, and somehow there's going to be a confrontation, in my opinion. So I think that would make the Arceus' story that much better. But let me know what you guys think. I would love to hear about it. I'll go respond to every comment. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people telling me like why I'm wrong or why this theory does not hold up, but I look forward to that and I invite that. So I look forward to the conversation in the comments, as long as it's just respectful. Thank you all for watching, man. Beacon fam forever. I love you guys. Everyone have an amazing rest of your day. I did update the member outro, and we will be live later on tonight. So thank you all very, very much for watching, man. I had a lot of fun with this, and I will talk to you guys soon.